All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Saturday. This is Patty McCracken, living happy from Denver, Colorado, and excited to be on this evening's webinar with you. Today we have had actually this is our fifth webinar out of six that we have run simultaneously every 2 hours on the hour, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the reason for this web blitz here today is because of where our company is in regards to what we're doing and where we're going. We have come off record-breaking year after record-breaking year, and this is not stopping. This month and this day of last day of the month, of first month of the year, is showing nothing other than record success and growth. And so we've actually really put this here together to showcase what we're doing. And so if you've been asked to be here with us this evening, maybe you've seen us flood Facebook with our before and after photos of real people with real results. Maybe you've heard about an additional way for you to earn income on the side of what you're already doing. Maybe you've heard that you can go out there and earn a Lexus with our company through the roadmap to Lexus. And so that's what we're going to cover here this evening. And if you've been with us throughout the day, we have had some tremendous people, some of the best, truly, share the Nerium experience and share kind of what's going on in their life. The first one we started out with was Lance Burton out of Kansas City, Missouri, and from home sales to Julie Waldy, a former teacher, a mother of three, to Kimmy Garter, who was just a dynamic presenter back in the aesthetic counseling and facial surgery and whatnot. And then to hear from Kevin Toohey, who has been in the finance industry for 37 years. Now to another gentleman who was a very successful business owner in real estate publishing, and has just done some extraordinary things with this business. And a lot of the reasons we're here today is because of what he's accomplished with Nerium. He has led an army of people just like you and just like me, really all across the country, with what we really have here this evening. And so again, for our guests here tonight, definitely sit back, take some notes, focus on this evening's presentation, because this presentation is going to change lives. This presentation has changed lives. I know there's a few people on here right now, actually hundreds right now, that might be seeing this for the first time ever. And so we're going to get into it this evening. So hopefully you have your favorite beverage, maybe an iced tea or water, or a Diet Coke, or maybe a cup of coffee. I don't know where you're calling in from, but we're going to jump into it this evening again. So please help me welcome to our webinar this evening, two-star national marketing director, $400,000 yearly income earner, Mr. Don Wilkinson. Don, are you with us?
I'm here, Kevin. Patty, how you doing? Hey, I gotta go get a cup of coffee real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, take it away, brother. Take it away.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. Hi, everybody. Hundreds of people. Huh? That's exciting. I'm kind of happy I can't see y'all. I might be a little bit nervous. I'm sitting in a hotel room in San Diego, California right now. I live in Ventura County, California, which is, everybody knows that is the place you pass on your way to Santa Barbara. But hey, I just want to say, first of all, I've been on the road all day and had I learned how to Skype driving on the freeway, which was interesting, and do a few other things. It's because this business is absolutely blowing up. We have people in Mexico and all over the place, just having amazing success, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But I did miss Lance and Kimmy and Kevin and and Julie, unfortunately, because they're just amazing leaders. I just want to say that great job, guys. And then, of course, Patty McCracken for his leadership putting this together. What you folks don't know, unless you're one of the couple people on the call just before this, is how technically challenged I am. We literally were working this out like 30 minutes ago, trying to get it all figured out, and here we are. So what I'll do is go ahead and tell my story a little bit, and then we'll get into the Nerium presentation. And I'll just tell you right up front that there's going to be some questions you might not get answered. There might be some other ones you need to get answered. We can get those handled for you at a future time. But just to start out today, my background was, like Patty had said, was publishing residential real estate magazines. I had owned 8 franchises for the Homes and Land Publishing Corporation, which is based in Florida. They ended up having just an amazing run in the 90s and 2000s, and were the largest real estate publishing company in the US and Canada, which I believe was the world at that time. And so I was proud to be the #2 publisher at that company. As a competitive guy, I had my eye on #1, but it was just, it wasn't to be, because what ended up happening was 2006, I had the best year I'd ever had in my life, a 7-figure type of year, and 10 million a year in revenue and just an amazing business, 50 employees. I thought I was set. And at the time, I think I was 48, 49 years old, whatever it was. And I just thought I was set. And what ended up happening was 2008 happened. And anybody out there that's in the financial services, real estate related industry at all, and even Southern California, Florida, wherever it was, knows exactly what happened. I remember the place I was standing when I was watching the TV, and they were talking about the financial meltdown countrywide is right in our backyard. And it was like, oh my God. And I remember going out in the backyard of my house on the hill that looked out to the ocean and over the airport and in the distance and the lights, and thinking, what's the worst that can possibly happen? Somebody had told me that one time, when you're facing fears and doubts and what's going to happen, you look at the worst case scenario, you face that and you think, okay, I can get to that and I can deal with that. Well, in my mind, I thought of the worst case scenario, and I blew by that worst case scenario in about 3 months later and just kept on going. And I'll just put it this way to you guys. It got to the point where, I ended up losing that house. All the cars got towed away. Family went along with it. Even the dogs and cats, I lost those. Those went along with it too. And I ended up moving into a small apartment in Oxnard, California, which I was grateful to have, of course. And then I salvaged a truck, which is a distribution truck, and I was driving that distribution truck. And I just, I guess the way I'd put it is I fell out of the success tree. It was a tall tree. And I was the guy that hit every branch on the way down. It was a bloody mess at the bottom. I really mean that. And I don't say that so you feel sorry for me, really, maybe just a little bit, but really so you understand that, it was a high to low type of situation. I really didn't know what I was going to do. I actually, at that point, it wasn't so much the financial loss as it was I ended up working for the company I used to own, but it took a major blow to my confidence. I really didn't know what I was going to do, and I just had a place where I was losing my spirit, and I was really, really down, and I didn't know how to come out of it. And one of the things I was doing a lot at the time was working out and taking care of myself, because I'd had a very successful entrepreneurial coach named Dan Sullivan. He's a best-selling author, and he has an organization up in Canada that he just does amazing work. And he had told me, work on your spiritual life and work on your health, and you'll attract something else to you. And about that time, a couple of years into that process, I got a call from a friend, and Diana told me that there was this medical breakthrough company. They had an anti-aging breakthrough, and there was a guy named Jeff Olson involved. And I kind of recognized his name, because one of the things in the real estate that we had so much success on is I used to put on seminars for real estate people and bring in speakers, real estate related and non-real estate related, and we'd pull anywhere from 100 to 500 real estate people into a room and put on a speaker, and they get excited. And Jeff Olson's name I had heard, and I wasn't quite sure where. But she said, he's the CEO and founder, and she wanted to send me a video called The Last Run Club. And I'd recommend, if you haven't seen it, you look at that. And on that video, remember, I didn't look at it right away. It took me about a week. And she kept on calling. I thought, boy, I better look at this video. And, I really wasn't thinking I was going to be too interested. And I remember looking at this video, and I was watching it on my bed one night, just clicking the remote thing. And listen to Jeff Olson talk about the fact that this was a medical breakthrough, that we had worldwide exclusive rights on this and other items that were coming, and that the barrier of entry was so large that it would take somebody with the time, money, and expertise, it would take them 10 to 15 years minimum, even if they had that. And there was a patent pending, and we had a category of product that was, absolutely amazing. He went through the space that we were in, being beauty and anti-aging, and there was, just amazing space if you were going to be in this industry, or really in the industry. He was talking about that, and that kind of got my attention, because any business person, I looked at several different things. Just, I was making some money. Other things would cross my path, and you always look at the space. You look at the category, the demographic, what's there, and I did all that. And he also went in and talked about the systems, and I mentioned the systems because it's not a franchise, but concept similar in the sense that he's created systems, and he was talking about the systems that he had put together that were going to be able to take this company to heights that had never been seen, and that he believed this was $1 billion plus company. And he went and talked a little bit more about the compensation, which of course I was interested in at that time, and then ultimately got to the fact that he wanted to build a company that a great company, and then travel the world with his friends and make a difference in people's lives. And I remember we'll look at the video, and there was something about this that I was watching this video, and I remember getting a really uncomfortable feeling in my stomach. That feeling, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm a big believer in asking forgiveness, not permission. Hopefully some of you understand this, but it's the best analogy I have. It really was this feeling like I thought, it's like the feeling you get at the holidays when you know you have to go to an in-law's house or somebody's place. You know you need to go, you know it's the right thing to do. You can't get out of it. You got to do it, but you don't really want to go. That was exactly the feeling I had because I knew I was just about to become the face cream dude, and I didn't want to do it. You know, I was working out a lot at the time. It was kind of my self-esteem builder. You know, I wasn't making much money. I was working for the company I used to own, but I'd go to the gym. And I remember, you know, I called Diana the next morning and I said, hey, get me started. And she goes, you haven't even tried the product yet. And I goes, I don't need to try the product. This is going to be $1 billion company. This Jeff Olson guy is incredible. Get me started. And I remember I went to the gym later that day or the next day, whatever it was. I remember sitting there and thinking, what did I get myself into? And I was sitting there looking at these guys that I knew in the gym and, you know, muscle bound, ripped, you know, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Go up to these guys and say, hey, bro, you want to come to my place and get a facial? You know, I mean, I really didn't know because I had no idea. I kept on thinking, though, Jeff Olson talked about systems. I sure as heck hope that wasn't part of the system because I pictured myself getting decked or something by one of these guys. But what I'm going to do now is just kind of go through, you know, and I'll just say this too. I'm going to go through the slides and talk about a lot of what Jeff Olson talked about, what we've come to currently. But I also want to say if there's men watching this video right now, I didn't do anything right in the beginning. I'll just say that, you know, Diana brought the product out to me. She told me to use water, you know, because there's no filler. I didn't even know what filler was. I mean, I had no idea. This bottle right here, this beautiful little bottle, I couldn't figure, you know, they talk about systems, like 5-step systems, and Nerium's so great. This was a system. I couldn't even figure out how to get this little leaf out. I was mad. I called her and told her I couldn't get the thing to pump, and she said, did you take the leaf out? And I said, yeah, I knew that. Okay. And so I did that. And then I was like thick. I put 4 pumps. I put about 16. I was spackling it on my face, and I think, what is this stuff? And she said, did you use water, Don? Like I told you. And I said, well, of course I didn't. I mean, anybody knows that water dilutes something. Why would you do that? And so, you know, I mean, it was pretty comical. But fortunately, I gave the product to a few people that used it properly, took before and after photos, and amazing things have happened. And the leadership has been incredible as a result of that. And the business is built around U.S., Canada, and Mexico as a result of those folks doing that and me taking a little bit of action. So what I'm going to do now is go through the slides and give you some feedback and tell you what Jeff Olson kind of talked about in that slide a little more in detail. So first of all, he's talking about a record-setting company, an amazing opportunity, real breakthrough products, a culture focused on making people better, and a rewarding business in a booming industry, some of which we'd talked about. I love this slide right here because this talks about the industry, as I mentioned earlier, going to be $1 trillion industry. It's $160 billion in 2011. I was recently doing a market party presentation, we call it, to a large group in the Northwest, and I wanted to kind of get an update. This is about 3 months ago, and I Googled where the anti-aging beauty industry was, and it's at $295 billion for 2015, right on pace for what this actual space is going to be in. And I mean, you could not possibly keep pace with that space. It absolutely would be impossible to grow at that level. I actually was thinking about a company, Jeff Olson talks about this sometimes, that, you know, L'Oreal is a very large company. If I was in a room right now and 200, 300, 400 people, whatever's on this webinar, if I asked how many people have heard of L'Oreal, and everybody's hand would go up because everybody's heard of it. If I asked how many people have actually tried or used L'Oreal, 2/3, 3/4 of people's hands go up. They're a $22, $24 billion company somewhere over in France, a large conglomerate, very well known. And you can see by the space we're talking about, they can't even nearly keep pace. If they grew at $1 billion a month themselves, they wouldn't even keep track on what's happening in the space. So Nerium, the growth potential in the space that we're in, which we'll get into a little more detail, is absolutely enormous. And you know, we have the best product and the best opportunity going with it. So the next thing to talk about, it is one of the most successful skincare launches in history. The first full year, we did $100 million in sales. That's just absolutely off the charts. I know it took me 25 years to build a company to 10 million. The first year, 100 million with Nerium, absolutely crazy. The second year, 200 million. If that any doubters out there, and the third year, 400 million. And every single one of those numbers, except the last few months of the year, We did that with one product in one country. If you look at the reality of that, and every other company that did 100 million in that range or greater, multiple products in multiple countries, and we did it with one product in one country. Jeff Olson, if he was talking right now, would kind of say that's kind of a clue of what's coming. We're the youngest company to ever make the Direct Selling News Global 100 list. If you're not in the industry, you don't know what the Direct Selling Association is. It's kind of like analogous to the National Association of Realtors. I like to use that example because I was involved with that. And National Association of Realtors is to look after people's ethics and guidelines and making sure people are doing things right and taking care of the real estate industry. Well, the Direct Selling Association is exactly the same thing for the industry that we're a part of. There's over 8,000 companies worldwide. 600 of them get requested to come back to Dallas each year for what's kind of like Academy Awards of the industry. And of the 600 that come back, a certain number of companies actually end up getting awards. And Nerium got not only the Bravo Growth Award that's not listed on here, but they've made the Direct Selling News Global 100 list, which is the top 100 companies in the industry the first year. Youngest company ever to be featured in 3 from Success from Home magazines. There's actually a few other magazines here, like The Beautiful You and the Young Entrepreneurs magazine as well. There's a number of media things like that. They're a part of Nerium. That's pretty cool thing. So going on to the next one, we talk about the U.S. We talked about the launch that happened in the U.S. Canada. I go back to the U.S. a second. I'll just mention this. It took us 5 months to get to $1 million just building the group, and that's impressive. 5 months, you hit $1 million that month, and then it exploded to 100 million for the year. When we opened Canada last summer, sometime around July, August, I was there for the opening. We did $1 million in the first month in Canada. So when Mexico opened a couple months later, we did $1 million the first day. Just gives you an idea of what kind of acceptance and what kind of growth we're actually having. And if you look at the third or the fourth column over, you see different countries. What's happening right now, we're being positioned to go globally in a major way. We're talking about, if you think about people you might know in South America, Colombia, Argentina, Brazil, you talk about Asia, talking about Japan, China, Korea, all these different countries, the European market. Every single time one of those countries open, with the kind of success we've had, can you imagine the expansion that can actually happen if you choose to pursue this as a business model? And it doesn't mean necessarily you know people in those countries, but if you think about it, do you know people that know people in those countries? Look at the internet, look at Facebook today, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these different sites where people are being connected from around the world just by a click of the button, and you're able to talk to somebody in a different country, perhaps open and looking for an opportunity. Not to mention, of course, just knowing somebody that, they used to talk about the 6 degrees of separation. I think it's probably down to 1 to 2 degrees today. I'm sure there's studies on that, but it's something that we absolutely are talking about. This is, if you look at this, folks, this is like the beginning of a tidal wave, and it's not even crested yet. And that's actually where we're at right now. And you have an opportunity to be in front of the wave. So talking about our CEO and founder, it's been my belief in business, and I think most people would agree with this. It's never anybody disagree with it, that a good predictor of somebody's future performance is their past successes. Jeff Olson has had win after win after win after win over and over and over again, not only in the direct sales industry, but in the conventional business. He had the number 2 solar company in America. He was one of the top 5 people at Texas Instruments. He gets into this industry in the early 90s and absolutely blows the industry away because of his systems and his training. That's what he's legendary for. He could take an inferior product or service, even though he's had good things, but he could take an inferior product or service, plug his system into it, and have massive success. A good analogy of that, and if there's any McDonald's fans on here, I apologize, but I'm not a McDonald's fan. Their products, in my opinion, are not the greatest products in terms of the quality of food. But look at the massive volume that they do worldwide because of the systems that they have. Well, we happen to have the best product in the world in terms of skincare and anti-aging and future things coming with medical breakthroughs and so on. We have exclusivity on. And you back that with Jeff Olson's systems, and it's unbelievable the kind of things that we're going to be doing in terms of success. He's been on the cover of the USA. He's been in the US Today, on the cover of the Wall Street Journal, Forbes.com each month. He's been on the cover of multiple national magazines. I think if you ask Jeff Olson, what he's probably the most proud of is that very organization I talked about, the Direct Sales Association. Every single year, he's voted in to be the keynote speaker by the very peers that he's competing with. They want to hear what he has to say about the industry, the direction, the trends that are happening. And it's largely because of his ethics and personal development, what he's known for. So if you're going to have the keynote speaker at the Direct Sales Association as your CEO, you're usually in pretty good shape. So that's just an idea of what Jeff Olson's about. And of course, when you have that kind of leadership, you have access to pull people from all kinds of successful companies and organizations in order to lead the team forward. And you're talking about everything from systems to IT to accounting to management, all kinds of aspects that are so important to build a global organization. When Jeff Olson launched this company, he went in with the idea of building a global organization. Everything has happened. Every management, every hire, every single person that's come aboard has been with that vision in mind. So talking about the culture of Nerium, I analogize the culture of a company very much like the character of an individual. If you think about the character of somebody, you're thinking about ethics, personal development. You're thinking about integrity, things of that nature. You're talking about values. And then you kind of characterize somebody. They have a strong character as a result of those kind of things, if they align with things that you believe represent those things. And a culture of a company is very similar. It really is the foundation for long-term relationships in a company, because you have something that means something more than just about making money and building a business. And Nerium's culture is incredible. On the left-hand side there, at least my left, Big Brothers Big Sisters, 500,000 donated. Well, that's not accurate. It's actually $1 million donated. We got to get this slide updated. $1 million our third year and #1 corporate sponsor. Success for Teens Foundation. This is the book that's a spin-off of Jeff Olson's Slide Edge book, which is the best-selling book, which was on the last slide. And this was a spin-off in order to make an impact on teens. It has to do with choices you make, how every little choice you make in your life equates to a long-term result. The trajectory of those choices over time determine a person's path in life oftentimes. And that's what Jeff Olson's been incredible about teaching and educating leaders on. But why not with the teenagers? Why not with the youth of America? So they created a book called Success for Teens, and actually an organization that's a part of Nerium that we put on free seminars and so on. This has been several million, I think 2.5 million of these books have been given out free to teenagers across America. And I've just heard incredible stories. I wish we actually had time for some of those testimonials on here to actually do that, because they'll blow your mind. You recognize something great's happened. And Live Happy, March 20th this year is going to be the second annual Day of Happiness in the world. If you think about the song that was out about Live Happy, well, Live Happy is Jeff Olson's magazine. He launched this. You won't see anything in there about Nerium. It's all about happiness in terms of family, finance, success, about making a difference in a positive way in people's lives. And when you go out to the bookstores and Barnes & Noble and Whole Foods and so on, and you see all the different magazines in there, Live Happy's right there among them, sells out every single issue. People are looking for positive news, and we're delivering it to them. Again, Jeff Olson's quote to that would be, it's not only the smart thing to do, it's the right thing to do. So something to consider when you talk about leadership. So we talk about our products. We're talking about revolutionary breakthrough in anti-aging skincare. Easy to use products for some people, not for guys like me that couldn't figure out the little leaf in there, remember? And real results based on real science. So that's something that we talked about a little bit early on, but just touched on again. These are some photos. This is a friend of ours named Paul in Arizona. This is an example of one of the photos. And as you go through these, you're looking at examples that are absolutely amazing examples of Nerium's use, usually within 30 days. Many people like Kimmy, who was on earlier, perhaps estheticians or doctors that are a part of our Nerium business that have chose to join us and pursue the business opportunity, if they were doing this webinar right now, they probably could get into details about the knowledge of actually what's happening with the skin. I'm a guy that just basically says, doesn't the right-hand photo look better than the left? And usually I get a yes, and I move on to the next slide, and I say, look at that one. Doesn't the right-hand photo look better than the left? And I hope you're chuckling a little bit, because that's literally how I built this business, is by showing photos, having no idea exactly what I'm looking at, knowing we have the science, knowing we have the kind of people that can actually answer the specifics of those questions for people that want to know that. But there's a few of us like me that didn't come from a skincare background, that, I used whatever soap was in the shower or the shampoo that ran off my head. I had no idea what skincare was, so I had no idea how to explain what you're actually looking at here. I do know this, that I was always looking for things as I got towards 50 that could get rid of some of the wrinkles around my eyes and around my mouth and different things like that. And Nerium came along and had amazing differences it has for these people. This is a good friend, Kenyon, up in Ojai, California. This was after a few short weeks, 24 months later. You should see her today. It's unbelievable how big of a change she's had. These are smile lines, obviously, around her lips and her cheeks. The neck area, when I talk about this, I call it a neck condition because I have no idea what else to call it. What I've learned from estheticians, in fact, down here in San Diego, I have a lady that owned a very successful art gallery, and she in Rancho Santa Fe, a great lady, and she actually had an esthetician that she gave a bottle of Nerium to, and the esthetician was about to get a surgery done for $3,500 surgery for the neck area, because it's an area that you can't really easily affect with topical skin products or even some of the different treatments that go on out there. But she gave her Nerium and said, try this for a while. She used it for 2 to 3 weeks, canceled her surgery as a result of it. This is not her, but this is the kind of result that she got. So it's another area that's hard to hide aging, very important though. The décolletage or décolleté, whatever, that word used to make me sweat because I had no idea how to say it and I didn't want to screw it up and I wanted to sound good, but now I understand it doesn't really matter. You can see the photo and see the difference. Another one of those areas that's hard to hide the aging, but it's amazing results. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I originally saw the slides on this. It's like a 2 to 3 week result as a result of the Nerium AD product. So talking about a product that's backed with science, I mean, one of the things that we used to talk about a lot, and Jeff Olson would talk about, was the fact that our product acts like an accelerator. Whatever we put the product in, you could take a green tea or vitamin C that's in our day cream, or the aloe vera that's in our night cream, whatever it is, and you could drop our extract in, it accelerates the results 200 to 300%. That's why it's kind of an unfair fight. Even though we saw these photos, and what Jeff Olson talks about in that video that I watched last Run Club, he originally went in to the biotech company and they were looking at marketing this. They recognized, and he recognized, they needed to have third-party clinicals. Even though they had these photos, they had the science, it's a biotech company that had a medical breakthrough. It's not a skincare company or a cosmetic company looking to have a skincare product in order to make money. It's a biotech company. It was an accident, like Botox, Latisse, Viagra, whatever it would be. They're doing research on one thing, they have the breakthrough, billions followed in the other areas. Same thing here. But they knew, and Jeff Olson knew, that they had to have clinicals, third-party clinicals. So they hired a company in San Francisco, California, one of the most prominent companies. They ended up going in and doing clinicals 3 different times, redid it. They thought they had their machines miscalibrated, went back through, did it 3 times, and literally the kind of results we're getting between 15 to 67% movement in fine lines, deep lines, skin pigmentation, discoloration, uneven texture, pore size. I can't even believe I'm saying all that because I've learned that from saying it a few times. The estheticians watching this are going, yep, that's right, that's what it does. There's like 30 different parameters they tested on, but those are the things that we can talk about. But the movement was incredible. I didn't know when I first watched this video and they were talking about results of 15 to 67%. I had no idea what that was. I mean, I didn't know. They could have said 100%. I would have said, well, I don't even know what a good percent is. Well, this is important to understand for those of you that are like I was, that the top brands, when they do over-the-counter type of products, quality products, high-end products, get between a 2 to 5% result. The top ones, maybe a 7 to 9% result in the areas I mentioned. Nerium, like I said, 15 to 67% result. I'm really focusing on this because I want you to understand, we have built the company on people using before and after photos. Literally, the company bet the farm on that basically said, don't believe our science, even though we have it. Don't believe our clinicals, even though we have them that are third-party clinicals. Use the product for a week, 7 days. You be the judge. Don't expect a facelift in 7 days, but you be the judge. If you don't feel a difference, see a difference. And we've built the company doing that. So, 70, 80% of the people that entered this business are because of the product photos, not because necessarily the science and everything behind it. We have it, though, if you want to know about it. So again, I talked about a little bit about the exclusive patented NAE extract with antioxidant properties. I discussed that a little bit, the accelerator effect, the day cream, first of a kind. I don't want to get off in too many stories, but I do have to say the day cream, when it came out, I did a meeting in Scottsdale, Arizona. It has a green tea extract. There's product lines developed around green tea. There's product lines developed around vitamin C. We have both of them in that product, plus our accelerator in the product, which accelerates results. Again, like I talked about, again, it's an unfair fight almost. And as it shows on the right-hand side, fine lines, deep lines, all the things I've gone through, it's amazing what it actually does. And so you'd think if you looked at a product like this, actually, just to back up a little bit, when Jeff Olson was one of the people brought in to look at this product and look at marketing it, when a medical breakthrough happened, they had all kinds of companies, infomercial people, retailers, legal firms representing other large cosmetic companies that had heard about this breakthrough at this major institution, and they knew the space they're in. They're obviously in that world, but they wanted to get their hands on the marketing of this product. They brought in outside consultants to be able to tell the Nerium Biotech and the different people that were involved with this what kind of market value they could get on the streets in terms of infomercials or on the counter. And they were looking at just the night cream in the neighborhood of $200 to $300 easy all day long. So when you look at it and you get the day cream and the night cream combined, and you're looking at it for $120 combined, both of them together. A 30-day money-back guarantee, 100%. If you're not satisfied, that's the case. We get very, very, very little product back whatsoever. Just so you know that. It's like 1/10 of 1%. It's way under the industry averages across the board. But again, we're talking about a ridiculous price for ridiculous results in a positive way. So just to move on from there, talk about you thinking that 120 is a good price. We use a model that's very similar to what we do already in life. You know, being in real estate, I used to have a friend of mine that has a company actually down here in San Diego called By Referral Only. He built a whole business teaching real estate agents to build their referral base because of doing a good job and reputation. And I used to compete with him kind of. He's a good friend, but it's been a long time since I've seen him. But because we used to tell people, get the advertising drawn to you, then do a good job for them, and now you have a referral base. But we do in Nerium is we tell people, look, if you went down to Nordstrom's, you went down to any skincare place or whatever it was, and you got the best products they have, you had amazing results like we get with Nerium. The natural thing you would do, I mean, just like real estate agent or an insurance person or a movie you might see, you would go tell people about it. You would just naturally do that. You call your sister, your brother, your aunt, your neighbor, your coworker, and you'd say, oh my God, look at this product. If they didn't ask you about it first, you'd be pointing out to them, showing them photos of yourself because we have before and afters. Well, when you do that, when you have 3 customers, you get your product free each month. And what a better deal than that. Free is incredible. And each one of those people can do the same thing. So it creates an advocate out of our customers in a way, even when they're not a part of the business. They want to refer us and want to build their own referrals so they can have their product for free. So it's a great program. Talk about the Nerium Night Cream. This is, the cellulite product, the Nerium Firm. This product, I have to say this, when I used to be in meetings for the first 6 months and the following 6 months, when Jeff Olson would talk about this product that we have, anything you drop it in, it gets these results, and then we were developing a contouring cream that had like 6 different active ingredients. It was going to be absolutely amazing. It was going to have our extract as well in it. It was going to accelerate the results. I used to think, I was afraid to ask what contouring cream was. I had no idea what that meant. But I just know a lot of the ladies would get excited and think that's going to be great. Jeff Olson actually made the point at a meeting I was at in Phoenix, right after we hit that $100 million number. He got up on stage, he was doing a presentation. He said, with the contouring cream product that we have coming, we could start the company all over again and get $100 million the first year just using this product. You could take multiple categories. This is the part of forgiveness, not permission. But you can take multiple categories. I want you to frame your mind a little bit here if you're watching this and think about, let's say an acne cream product came out that competed with, I don't know, I don't mention any names, but you know, things that weren't healthy for your skin, like Proactive. I mean, I shouldn't say that, did I? I shouldn't say that. Okay, things that are not good for your skin, astringents, that kind of thing. And you have a product that's botanical, biotech company that it was created with, it's actually good for somebody's skin. Think about the category of the space, how big that is the acne area. And if we have the product that comes out and we open it in that category, how much potential is there? What about an eye cream, a bird cream, a scar cream? I'm not saying all those things are in line, but I actually kind of am saying they're all in line. We just don't know the exact timing of it. Not to mention all kinds of other things I won't even get into here that are not directly related to skincare. So I'm just wanting to frame your mind a little bit if you're watching this, that we're talking about the night cream, the day cream, our Nerium Firm. that we have incredible potential still. Jeff Olson would tell you right now, we could go to $1 billion just with those products in the U.S., but with the things that are coming and the global expansion, we're talking about multiple billions of dollars again. So I just think it's important to point out. So if you look at a product like this, you start looking at the cost that people spend going to health spas and places in order to get wraps and various things done that, it's questionable whether they work on it. Some things work really well and others don't. The kind of money that's spent in doing that, and it's a big area, obviously, for good reason. Gyms exist because of people wanting to keep in shape and look good in their body. If you look at this product, which is absolutely amazing, could sell for $150 to $250. Just my understanding of what the price points would be. Nerium has it priced for, this is actually before and after photo. I got ahead of myself a little bit. I'm not sure this person's name. I just know that they have an amazing result. Same thing with this one, but it's priced at $150, 30-day money-back guarantee for all three of the products combined. So essentially, since the day and the night cream were at $120, this is $30 for the Nerium firm for an entire month if you got all three products together. So I think it's just absolutely incredible pricing from what I learned and understand about the industry. To get your day and your night cream and your firm together. So moving on to the Live Better part, this is the purpose of why I actually joined the business. I'm really excited to talk about this. I'll go through it very quickly. Again, the last part, if you're somebody on the webinar right now and you're really into skincare and the science behind it, whoever invited you, we have all kinds of science behind that. If you're somebody else that's really into the math and you want the bottom line on the economics of how the compensation works, we can give you the entire compensation plan, and it's laid out by our #1 income earner. What I'm going to do very quickly right now is just go through some numbers very quickly that'll give you an idea of what we call our roadmap to Lexus. I was told by somebody who helped create this comp plan that if you understand this part I'm going to go through and you keep it simple and you use this model and you teach this model, you can create any type of income that you want to create, anywhere from $1,000 a month to $100,000 a month. It literally has that kind of potential. This is our model in Nerium. So first of all, let's just talk about the industry. It's perfect timing. We talked about that already. Record-setting company. We went through that. Leveraging word-of-mouth advertising. That's exactly where we're at. The way you can benefit is you just share the product, share the business. You help others do the same thing. You get paid. Price point for coming into Nerium. Again, I won't get into it, but I know if any business people here, I know my businesses were $100,000 to $250,000 for each magazine to launch. Any business usually is in that range if you're talking about brick and mortar and all the costs associated with a franchise or a business. Nerium, you're able to come in the business between $499.95 and $999.95, and the difference between the two is the amount of product you get. And again, we sample our product. That's how we built the company. So the more you have, the quicker you can move. And these are actually a lot of times referred to as like employees. If you think about this, if you got all of these, let's just say the Premier Success Pack, and you had somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 of the day and night together, and you actually shared that with people, it's like having 6 employees working on somebody, because that's literally what it does. It's our greatest asset is our product. So obviously with more product you can move quicker. If you did come in at the $499.95, people do upgrade, but it's recommended you come in at the higher level because you're able to move quicker with the business as a result of that. Talking about our brand partner resources, I love this part because this is really the franchise model I talked about, and I really think it's important to point this out. When somebody looks at this product, they look at this biotech, they look at the science, they look at the company, and think, there's no way this company is not going to be an international conglomerate. They start thinking about, though, how could I do this? Could I participate? Could I be a part of this? This is it right here, folks. You could put this product out and actually the business would grow. But when you have a system that's created that's like the most incredible franchise system you've ever seen, that's what we have here. So you have a business launch kit that has Jeff Olson's signature training, not only in writing, but also his book, his CDs, multiple other CDs from top income people, people in the industry talking about every aspect of actually how to do this business. Full e-commerce websites for like $29 a month. That's our whole business cost. And that's absolutely incredible. The website training that you can't even imagine. Dozens of videos about every aspect of how to do this business. I mean, it's not just you teaching and you learning. Just think about if you're watching this, if you want to build an organization, you had 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, and they're watching these trainings. You're not training them. The videos are training them. The calls that we have are training them. It's kind of the Nerium rhythm. You have the iPad smartphone app, Nerium Edge online management system. You have the Young Entrepreneurs program, which if you can see it, this magazine right here, if you can see it, the Young Entrepreneurs magazine, is a lot of friends and mentors in this magazine that have had huge success. I just want to show that to you, that are 25 and under, 30 and under. And I point that out because here we have a biotech company. If somebody went out and get a job making, somebody offered him $100,000 a year to go out and share a product and share information about the product and build a biotech company's business the traditional way, they'd be flooding the gates in order to get out of college and be a part of that company, just to even have the opportunity to work for a company like that. Here, they can do that. Not only do they learn about the product and marketing it, but they learn about success and personal development, which can help them in any other area of their lives. Again, it's the commitment to the youth, a lot of what Nerium's about. Again, you think about a lot of times younger people don't even have birthed a wrinkle yet, but they understand the market potential and where we're going with it. So the sharp ones actually join, and we have a lot of massive success with the business, and they keep on popping up every day. I hear more and more of them. So Nerium Gives Back is a program I've never even heard of in any other company, anywhere ever. And what this is Nerium Gives Back is where the company provides inventory to you for free. If you take any other company, if I ask for a show of hands right now of how many people have ever been in the direct sales industry or even owned a franchise, let's say 90% of your hands would go up, or know somebody that has 80%, 90% of your hands would go up. I'd say how many people know of any company in franchising, normal business, product or service, or direct sales that once you made your initial investment, the company provided product free for life? That's right, free for life. Absolutely amazing. The only requirement is that we go out and do the footwork, which we bring customers in and we bring in what we call brand partners. We're building a brand, that's what we're called. The company sends us free product to continue to grow our business. You can't give away free product, offer 100% money back guarantee unless you absolutely know you have a rock star product and one's coming. So this program is amazing. I'll just say this, if you came aboard and you brought in, well, I'll go into the next slide. I'll actually explain it a little bit better with the roadmap to Lexus, which is what we're going to talk about. If you were to look at this and you were to bring in 3 brand partners and also 3 customers, Nerium would send you 6 bottles of free product. That's just an idea what I'm talking about, or equivalent of $600. So let's move on to this now. And as you look at this, this is our model. This is called Roadmap to Lexus. You come in at the $500 level, you help 3 people to do the same thing. You think, well, who do I ask to actually join my business? I suggest in the very beginning, you invite people you know, you love, you care about, and you respect, that you'd want to be in business with. Those are the people you want to talk to first, obviously. There's a variety of ways you can approach them or whatever, but the idea is to actually bring in 3 people that want to be a part of your business model. Combined total of commissions and bonuses and things associated with product and so on, it comes out to like $705 that you've made right out the gate. And that's a pretty exciting number considering that you can come in at $500. So you initially can make your money back by doing that. So once you've done that, you think, well, what do I do now? This is the model that's so simple, you can miss it. You actually turn around, you teach those 3 people to the exact same thing you did here. Okay? So what happens then is you're on an iPad. iPad's a limited time thing where you have to do it in the first 60 days, except for this month we have a special going on that people can read on their iPad. I won't get into that, but the idea behind this was you help those 3 people that you brought in to bring in their 3. That's the model. You do somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,500 a group qualifying volume, no more than 60% from one leg for balancing purposes. You've made about $2,000 in commissions, bonuses, overrides, product, that kind of thing. And that's in the first 60 days if you were actually able to accomplish that in the first 60 days. Absolutely amazing when you think about it, not to mention you now have a new iPad. And what an incredible presentation tool. I mean, I gotta tell you something. I run my business on my iPad when I travel. I'm actually on a PC right now, which is not my favorite thing to be on. The iPads are absolutely incredible. It's just I was out of battery on it. Otherwise, I would have been on that. So anyway, this is something that is just a great tool and a very important part of our model. Next step, you teach those people brought in to get their iPad. You're awarded a Lexus bonus between $500 to $1,000, depending on your rank in the business. It goes $500, $750, or $1,000. And it's absolutely amazing. My understanding, the latest number is the company's had over 10,000 people qualify at this level for a Lexus bonus. Absolutely amazing. No company out there in the industry anywhere, I don't think any industry, but I know for this industry in the first 3 years has even come close to those numbers, and companies that have been around for decades have never even hit those numbers. It's a first level of leadership. It's the point where you now, at this point in the business, you've made $4,850 of combined product overrides and commissions and that kind of thing. But also, you now qualify for the senior director, we call it an advanced leadership training academy, David Bird coaching, which is the top leadership coach. All these things come into play at this point, and it's the beginning of a foundation for a leader moving on to greater heights. So moving on, just really simple, we're talking about creating residual income. I'll just say this about residual income. Most people know how to create residual income by going out, getting a job, working their entire life, whether it's a job, they have a fee or a salary or a commission or a wage of some sort, where their income is directly related to their ability to perform. That's how everybody generally knows how to make money. So we bring this model to them that kind of turns that model on the head and says, no, you don't want to get 100% of your own effort. How about getting 1% of 100 people's effort? Kind of like J. Paul Getty suggested. Most very, very successful people go on that model. J. Paul Getty, if you know who he was one of the wealthiest men in the world, billionaire, passed away since, but that was his philosophy. That's what he said. We're employing that exact same philosophy here. So you earn money on your customers' orders. You earn money on your from your team, as well as expanding a global and worldwide organization. You end up earning money as well. So it's becoming a piece of the pie, not trying to get all of the pie just by doing all the own efforts on your own. I just kind of say this about that. Most people know how to make money that way. They try to save up and invest to make money with investments to get residual income, which is very difficult to do. People do it, but it's very difficult, very risky, and takes decades in order to create the kind of income in order to invest, to be able to do that. Here we leverage our time in a positive way. We're fully capitalized as a company, so it's not looking for your capital, it's looking for your context, credibility, and your investment of a small amount of time in order to create the same kind of effect that you could create if you had massive amounts of money. So just that makes sense for a few of you. Just moving on, for those of you that may be looking at like, geez, is there really some big money in this? I'll just point this out. This is just one more thing Nerium added on after I had already started in the business. We have bonuses everywhere from a $50,000 bonus to 150, 375, 750, and 1.5 million. Every single one of those levels have been hit by somebody at least once. And actually, what's exciting is the 375, multiple people, 750, that's at least one person, and 1.5 million. But many more people are breaking into that. In fact, as I was sitting here, people noticed I was getting distracted outside of my ADD. I'm actually getting text from somebody in Mexico right now that literally was like, she probably qualified right now for her $50,000 bonus in Mexican money, but nevertheless, can you imagine that? I mean, being in Mexico and 4 or 5 months into this opportunity, and she's been able to create a your income and get a bonus like that. It's incredible to see that going on. And I actually met her the very first day that Nerium opened in Mexico. She showed up at the launch that Nerium did, and to see her go from that to this, and to see how it's changing her life and the things that are happening is just incredible. So just kind of put that out there. So with that being said, Patty, I'm not sure if I do a wrap up here. Yes, I do a little bit of a wrap up. Just say this. I like this story. I heard this a couple times, and I researched this story. And I just want to kind of put it out there. As you've looked at this, hopefully some of the things I've said and some of the other people have said have made some sense, that you've gotten some ideas, that you've maybe raised some questions, which is a good thing. I don't think there's a question that you would ask that we cannot get answered if you're serious about wanting the answer. I can say that to you. I don't think there's a better opportunity on the planet. And yeah, I'm in the business and I'm doing very, very well with it. But I've looked at a lot of things. And where do you find something where you can invest $500 or $1,000 and literally make 1,000 to 100,000? I mean, literally, there's kind of numbers going on. Win a Lexus, iPad, all kinds of things along the way. Not to mention change your life and perhaps the lives of others, which are kind of the intangible things that are hard to put a dollar figure on in terms of the value. So, but I do like to close with this. And I normally, if I'm doing this live, and I guess I'm doing it live, but I mean in front of a group, I've been doing this lately because I heard about this story and I went and actually Google it and looked under Wikipedia. I recommend you do the same thing because it's a mindset. And I read a story of, people have heard the story of Stephen Jobs and Wozniak and Ron Wayne. Ron Wayne, most people don't know who he is. Well, Ron Wayne was a third partner back in 1977 that joined the company. Wozniak and Jobs recognized that their youth that they needed leadership and somebody that had management skills. They asked Ron Wayne to come aboard because he had that kind of experience. Ron Wayne came aboard a week later. He asked to be cashed out of the business for $1,000 or some number like that. I don't remember the exact numbers. You can Wikipedia it, and it's right there. And what ended up happening was they didn't want him to leave, but they said, he goes, it's just too much risk. I mean, I don't want to, I got too many obligations, and what if this doesn't work? And, this kind of thing was where his mind was at. He was doubting, his fear, looking at his past and determining his future by his past, not looking at where he was and looking forward as to what he could accomplish. About a year later, an investment firm came along that was going to take this company public, being Apple. And they told Wozniak and Jobs, look, you've got to do another contract and cash out this Ron Wayne guy. And Stephen Jobs was like, I've been trying to get him back in for the last year, and we can't get him back. He just won't do it. They went to him one last time, offered him $15,000 to have him sign off on everything and rights for the future just to make sure he was out of it. His 10% today, just so you know, because he chose to move on and not be a part of it, would be worth $35 billion. That's with a B, folks. And again, people make choices in life. He didn't have, I guess, the entrepreneurial spirit. You don't have to be a salesperson with this. What you have to be able to do is share a concept, an idea, information related to that, and a product. And I just say this, don't be a Ron Wayne. That was kind of something, I saw somebody do that. I thought, man, I like that, because, it was fear and doubt and indecision that kept him from accomplishing something that could have changed his family and multiple other people for generations to come. And we have that kind of opportunity right here. We're not looking for your money. We're looking for your investment of you. And with that being said, Patty, I don't know how I end this thing, but there you are, buddy. So I'm done.
Thank you so much, Don. You did a great job. Great job of going through all the slides and the stories and whatnot. You're getting really, really good, man. I'm really proud of you. So thank you again. I know you are off to be a guest speaker at another function this evening. You look sharp, so good luck to you. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from one of the best. This is a business that does require choice, and we have it all. We have the leadership, we have the product, and more importantly, we have the culture that's attracting the right kind of people in this Live Happy movement. And so definitely want to join us for one more webinar to close out this month, the first month of the year 2015. And I'll definitely share one thing here. I know Don and I were in Nerium really kind of at the beginning. He may remember this, but Jeff Olson has really always said that 2015 would be the year. 2015 would be the year that Nerium became a household name, a brand name. And that's hard to imagine that this will be our year, since we've already done $700 million in sales in just 3 years. But this is it. We're seeing the numbers come in today as we're speaking on this webinar, closing out this month. It's been a big month. It's going to be an even bigger year. And so definitely want to join us at, what time is that going to be at? 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be hosting the next webinar and going through the Nerium Experience slides. So definitely look forward to seeing you on there. Guys and gals, we have had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people join us on our webinars over the course of about a 10-hour period. And it's just really exciting to see. So if you're watching this for the first time and definitely have some questions, get back to the person that invited you on here. Get your questions answered. Pick a pack, pick a product, and get started. And definitely start introducing and promoting. For in 1 hour, we're going to be featuring again, I guess myself, going through the Nerium Experience slides here to close out the day. But man, just excited and blessed to be with a company like this, with the amount of people that we're working with. Today's been a special day, guys and gals. So we will see you here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for me to go through the webinar and the last speaker of the day. So with that, we'll see you in about 64 minutes. Thank you again, Don. I appreciate you. Way to go, guys and gals. Have a great day. Take care.